Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Adventures with Aggie Goes to Uni. Today we have Lori Ann and Makayla, two more rodeo athletes from Colorado Mesa University. They're going to talk about their stories, how rodeo has impacted their lives, and give us a little bit of background on rodeo itself, just as we had on the other episode of Goes to Uni this series. Thanks so much to Lori Ann and Makayla for coming on the show, and welcome. How are y'all doing today?
It's Friday.
Good, how are you? Yes.
It's true.
That's
It's
good.
Friday. I'm so excited. We're so close. Almost the weekend.
I know, thank goodness.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, let's start with just a little bit of an introduction and background on who y'all are, what major you are, I guess. We know where you go to school since that was the last episode as well. But yeah, Lori Ann, you want to jump in first?
Yeah, so my story a little bit, I come from a ranching background up in Northwest Colorado. We have cows, horses. I kind of started there just ranching, learning everything from when I was very small. The rodeo thing was something I got into a little bit later. I enjoyed the horse training, the horsemanship side of working the horses. So I got into the rodeo. I made some connections. And then I was actually at the University of Wyoming, and I made the connection with Brandon and Kevin down here to transfer and rodeo for Mesa. So it's been a fun journey, but I've really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Awesome. I love it. Makayla, what about you?
I actually didn't come from a ranching background or anything having to do with really horses. My mom did it growing up, and then once she had my brother and I, she just kind of sold everything. But I guess it's genetic. I got into it. I learned from a really young age, and then now I'm here. I'm rodeoing for Mesa, and I'm actually from California. But it's been a long time figuring out. But there's the rodeo industry. There's a lot of people willing to help you, even if you're not into it or like your family's not into it. There's a lot of people that are willing to help you, and that's how I got here. I met Brandon. I couldn't even tell you how. Just some friends. Carly and I went to the same high school, so I kind of heard from Colorado Mesa from there. I did some research. I really liked the area, and then I met Brandon, and here we are. So
awesome. Shout out to this Brandon. Sounds great.
He's our
wonderful coach. Yes.
Yeah.
And advisor, Kevin.
I love that. Love it. Cool. Okay, let's talk about your events. I know nothing about rodeo and rodeo events. My extent of rodeo knowledge is from Elizabeth and Carly. So can you tell me what your events are, and kind of just like explain how you do it? Because I don't think a lot of my listeners are going to understand if you just say the name of the event. I would love a little bit of an explanation, and what you like about it. So Makayla, do you want to go first?
Sure. So I do the goat tying, breakaway roping, and I'm a team roping healer. So I'm sure Elizabeth and Carly, they explained it, but pretty much goat tying, there's a goat staked at the end of the arena, and you have to get off your horse who's running like full speed and go down there and flank it and tie it. And it's kind of like the girls' version of the tie down roping for like the guys. It's like doctoring and stuff like that, but in like rodeo. And so what they do is they go rope a calf, get off their horse, and flank and tie it. But it's the girls' version, of course. And then breakaway, it's like you rope a calf, and then your rope's tied onto your saddle horn with like a piece of nylon string, and then it breaks off. I really like the breakaway. It's my personal favorite, just because the speed of it and how fun it is. It's like challenging enough to like, it challenges you, of course, and it's like really competitive. It's super fast. You see girls that are roping in like 1 and 2 seconds, and it's just super fun. And then the team roping on the heeling end, pretty much your header will rope the steer and turn it, and then the heeler goes and ropes his feet. And it's pretty fun. I like that too, just like I said, the speed of it and how challenging it is.
Yeah, definitely. That's so fun. Mm-hmm. Sounds cool. I don't know if I could do it, but it sounds great. Cool. Lori Ann, what about you? What are your events?
I do the same. I breakaway, I team rope, and I goat tie as well. I just started goat tying recently with the help of Makayla and my teammates. So I've come a long way, but I've got a lot of work to do in that area. But I breakaway, Makayla and I push each other like crazy. It's fun. The practices are fun. We actually team rope together. I had a little bit of a roadblock and wasn't able to rodeo last semester, but prior to that, we roped together, and we're very great teammates. We work very well together in the same event. It's fun.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like the
Yeah.
rodeo is one thing that I don't think many people think about as a team sport. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like it's one kind of like swimming, you know, like you see one person swim a heat and it's just one person in the pool at the same time. But I love that. I love they all practice together, push each other. That's awesome. Um, cool. So I guess let's backtrack just a little bit, but why CMU? Why did this become your school? What was so exciting about it? I know they seem to be a rodeo school after speaking with the other girls. But yeah, what kind of made you want to go there, and how's it been so far? Lori Ann, you want to go first?
Honestly, it's the people. I went to a large rodeo school to start with big practices, a huge team, and I just didn't feel at home there, to be honest with you. And I came to Mesa and I called Kevin Bates, like I would say the day before classes started, and I transferred to Mesa in an afternoon. And the just the people of the team, and then Brandon came along my second year there, and he was amazing. He's really built a program, and so I would say it's the family unity of the team, just like the atmosphere, the want to do better. I really like just the people.
I love that. I love it. Makayla, what about you?
It's kind of the same thing for me. I didn't transfer from a school, but I did talk to a lot of different coaches and a lot of different people from larger schools, and it is the family thing. I feel like with schools with a larger, like we really, no matter what, like you're competing against like your own teammates, but you're always there to support everyone. And that's hard to find at a lot of different schools, and just the family part of it is really awesome. We'll do team dinners nights before rodeos. We'll do all sorts of stuff. Well, before COVID, we would go bowling together, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's some stuff that you don't see at a lot of different schools, which is super nice.
Yeah.
Even just the little things that we do for each other. I mean, after practice, we all stick around, hang out, rope the dummy sometimes. Just the little things that you don't see that I've never seen at another school. I just really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, that's so fun. Sports family. I think rodeo family sounds fun. I love it. Awesome. Let's move into, I guess, your favorite things and some of the hardest things about being a rodeo athlete and a student athlete. I feel like balancing these two things might be kind of tough. I know the other girls were speaking about waking up super early to go feed and then doing it after class as well. But yeah, I guess, Lori Ann, can you just kind of start and talk about some of your favorite things and the hardest things about being a rodeo athlete?
Yeah, my favorite thing is the fact that you can always get better. I mean, that's in any sport, but with rodeo, there's just so many little things. I mean, you can add more horsepower, you can take it away, you can add speed, you can take it. I mean, just the fact that you can change it however you want and make yourself better better yourself for as long as you want in the sport. I really love that. And then getting to meet Brandon and Makayla and my wonderful teammates that helped me along the way. I mean, I just think that's great. That's my favorite part. And then I would say my biggest challenge is definitely the time. Trying to take, 15 credits, get good grades, have 3 horses on the facility. I would say the time management, but the challenge is worth it, I would say.
Yeah, that's so fun. I love it. Cool.
Yeah.
Makayla, what about you? Your favorite things and the hardest things?
I guess my favorite thing is having an out. So with school and how stressful it is, and like Lori Ann said, taking 15 or more credits and everything, having an out to go like ride your horses, go practice, go do something you've enjoyed all your life is really awesome. And it's something that a lot of kids here don't get to do. I feel like they all, for most kids, it's school, 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 school. For us, it's challenging, of course, but we always have something to do outside of school, which is nice. It's a social thing. It's a good mental break, if you will. But I'd say the challenging part about it is definitely there isn't a lot of time in the day. So with studying in school and having to put in the extra time on your classes, but also having to worry about 3 or 4 other mouths to feed, and having to not only like pay for them or pay for them to stay there or keep them in shape and worry about like their health. It's like having 3 other kids. So it's early mornings, it's late nights, and it's hard, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I would second that, Makayla.
I love that. That's so cool. I think I can feel the passion. I think this is also one sport that like you can tell it does take up a lot of time. Like a lot of time, a lot of money is what the other girls were talking about. Like it's a lot. huge part of your life. You can't just really do it on the side, you know, like it's a huge commitment, which is so cool. But I feel the passion. I love it. I love how excited y'all are and how into it you guys are. Cool. Well, this was, I think, the favorite question from the last session, but what goes through your mind before the gates open? Like, how are you feeling when you're out there? Both of you are kind of smiling, so I'm really excited for your answers. But yeah, what are you feeling? I guess I would probably think adrenaline, excitement, maybe nerves. I don't know. But yeah, Makayla, you want to start off? Kind of tell us how you're feeling out there.
Oh boy. It's just a lot of emotions. Like it's excitement, but so many nerves. So many nerves. Like I find myself shaking a lot of the time before I go in the box or before I go in the gate. Not only because one, there's a lot of money on the line, but also you're worried about like getting injured. You're worrying about your horse. You're worrying about everything else. But it's just a lot of emotion and it's crazy. I find myself, as silly as this sounds, I'll just smack my leg really hard before I go in when I'm nervous, just to kind of like distract myself in a way, which is really weird, but I found it works best for me. I chew gum when I rope. I try and do a lot of stuff to like kind of calm my nerves a little bit. But like it's so weird because it's such a high for like your adrenaline and everything, and then once it's all done, it's like you're back to normal, which is so weird in the matter of seconds. So it's definitely crazy.
Yeah, I have no idea what I would feel. I don't know. You're doing a great job describing it, because I don't know how I would put that into words.
Mm-hmm.
Just the thought of like being on a 1,000-pound animal, I have no idea what I would say. But
yeah, and it's crazy too because they get nervous.
Yeah,
they get so nervous. There's a lot of times where like I feel their heart beating because they love it just as much as we do. Like it's their favorite thing to do. So they like their nerves and your nerves combined, and it's crazy how if you're nervous, they can tell you're nervous.
Right.
And it changes their whole demeanor. So a lot of the time you have to like kind of fake it. Like you have to fake that you're not nervous just so they act cool, calm and collected. And it's crazy. It's just really weird.
That is crazy. That's so cool. I want to feel that. I want to do that one day. But
it's fun.
I love it. Lori Ann, what about you? How do you feel?
I mean, it's the same for me, but I get it earlier. I mean, they'll call my name like 4 people ahead or something, and I get that rush. I can hardly, I mean, I'm shaking. I have to like calm myself down. And then when I go in there and right before the gates open, like you're saying, I have to think of nothing. I have to completely and totally let like any of my muscle memory that I practice in all of my practicing hours take over, because if I think right before they open it, I'm behind. They open it, I'm already behind. So I have to just clear my mind, take a deep breath, and just kind of let what I've practiced take over. Because like Makayla's saying, you can get yourself in a mental, get in there and get nervous. Your horse gets nervous. So I just kind of have to clear my mind, get ready, and do our job. And then afterwards, just analyze it. But I love it. It's so fun.
Yeah, I can tell y'all have fun. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's move it. This is my favorite question now. I think the last one was the other girl's favorite question. But I feel like rodeo, and lots of sports have this, but rodeo specifically, there are a lot of like lingo terms and stuff that like people probably wouldn't know unless they actually do it. So can you tell me like maybe like 1 or 2 of these words that you say all the time that people like me would probably not have any idea what you're saying when you say it? Yeah, I don't know. Lori Ann, do you want to go first?
I do. I'm trying to think of one. I don't know. They always say like all the rough stock guys and everything, they'll just say buck 'em, let's buck 'em. And they just mean like let's buck the bulls. Let's, and that stuff might sound weird to anyone. I don't know. Makayla's gonna have to say one so then I can think of more.
Oh, there's so many, like you can't even.
So many.
As crazy, like there's some really inappropriate ones. Like whenever I go to like tie goats, I always have someone yell at me to keep your tits up. So like if you just hear someone yell that in like any sort of normal social setting, like that's just so weird. So, but if you're like, my thing is like, if you're like looking at the ground and like your tits are looking down, you're gonna eat the ground.
Yeah.
So like if you're looking up and like your chest is up, it makes sense. Like that's just what I do. And then, oh goodness, you hear a lot of people say rank.
Yeah.
That's a big one. But like it's like
Oh,
a different.
bad cat.
It's like a normal word. Yeah, bad cat. Oh goodness.
What did Carly and Elizabeth enlighten you? I want to hear what they said.
Yeah.
They were saying buck 'em, keep
Yeah.
pushing, like just words that they
Keep pushing.
motivational, you know, like push them or
Yeah.
something like that. Something in spur. What is spur?
Look and
Spur
spur.
'em for
Yeah.
90.
Yes. Yeah. I
Yeah.
never heard these things.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We always make fun of the bulldoggers. So if you ever talk to a bulldogger on a podcast, we always make fun of them because they run down the arena, and as soon as they get off their horse, they're always like bulldog, and it's like the event name. It's what you're gonna do, but they still tell each other to do it every time. So we just make fun of them.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh gosh. Another one like, oh, you're out. Like
Yeah,
for
you're
like
out.
the rodeo people, like with the barrier, like so there's a barrier that goes across the box, and so if you break it, it's a plus 10 second. It's a 10-second penalty. So when someone yells you're out, you didn't break the barrier. Like you're good.
And you hear it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's there's so many.
I can tell. I know they also said break the barrier earlier, so I learned that one. Like that's something that I've seen, you know, watching rodeo on TV, and I was like, oh, like 10 seconds, like I have no idea what happened. Like they probably said that, and I just didn't know what was going on. But yeah, there's so many words. I feel like there's rodeo, and like hockey also has a lot of lingo that like I don't know and I never understand. But that's so funny because I feel like these are such normal things for y'all that I have never heard in my life. So
And it's so funny, like just talking to like people that don't rodeo, and you say all these things, and they're just like, "What?" It's so funny.
Yeah, that is me. That's me. Cool. I think just a couple more. So next one. What is like a common misperception that people have about rodeo athletes or just about rodeo in general? I guess like what's something, I don't know, maybe a stereotype could also be another way to ask this question, but yeah. Makayla, you want to go first?
Oh, there's a lot actually. A lot of people assume that people that rodeo or cowboys or anything are very like, I don't know, yee. I guess that's a big one. But it's not like, I mean, I don't know. There's always people say like every yeehaw can be a yee, but every yee can't be a yeehaw. So that's a big one. But also that a lot of people think rodeo is like abusive on animals, and it's not. A lot of the animals that are there are actually bred to do it, and they actually enjoy it. You see a lot of these bucking horses, they have straps like around their flanks and everything, and people say like, oh, it hurts them, and it actually doesn't, and like that's their job. They like to do it, and after that job's done, they just go eat. You know, they have a very, very easy life. For sure. And all the rodeo animals do. They live better than most humans live. And so that's a very big misconception, I think. I think that's the biggest one in all honesty.
Yeah, definitely. That's what they mentioned that on the other episode as well. And then they also were speaking about the term horse girl or like horse people.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. I've never heard that. I'm from Alabama and I've never like thought about this before, I guess. There are people that love horses there, but I never heard that. And then I think it's also true for like people who just turn on rodeo and then see tying or roping something like, I think that's easy to think that it is abusive, but if you know the technique and you know the sport, then you'll realize it's not. But Lori Ann, what about you? You want to add anything? If not,
I would have to agree. Just agree with her that in the public eye, it can come across wrong. And it's easy to see that because if I watch it from the public eye, but if you go behind the scenes and talk to the people involved and the stock contractors involved, there's so much passion. I mean, that's their livelihood. So if I really appreciate you talking to us and asking this question of us because we want to educate other people. We want to bring other people to the rodeo world and teach them what we like and what we work for.
Right.
So I would agree with Makayla that we are passionate about what we do. And the cruelness and the stuff, that's not what we stand for. So I would have to say that's probably our biggest misconception. And we're, as a rodeo community, work really hard to correct that.
Yeah, I bet. I think the educational piece of this sport is huge and it's kind of missing, I think, in a lot of people's eyes, especially if it's not like the most common sport that people do. Like I can't say I see rodeo very often in Manhattan, right? Like that's just not a normal thing. We don't have those, I guess, in the streets or anything, but I think that's pretty common for people not to understand. And just because they don't understand or they don't have that background in this, they just think that it's wrong, right? And that's just not being aware, I guess, and not understanding completely. But yeah, no, I'm happy that that I can provide this platform, right, and try to educate some people out there about how fun it is, how it's not made to hurt the animals or anything. It sounds so cool. I want to try it now. I don't know if we have.
Come up. We'll
kind of
take you.
Yeah, I love it. After COVID, I'll come out to Colorado. Cool. Well, okay, last question. Lori, can I see your horse? Is your horse still there?
Oh yeah. Can I? Yeah. Let me go get him. I had my mom take him because he was getting in the way.
I love it. That's funny. Cool. Well, thanks so much for this. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
That was fun.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay. Here he is.
Oh my goodness. That's so fun.
Yep. This is him.
I love this. I love it. I don't remember the last time I've been on a horse.
Got him.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they're just so nice. Hold on.
Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. What's his name?
Thanks. Peso.
Peso. That's so sweet.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your story. I appreciate the time. Awesome stories from Lori Ann and Makayla. Thank you so much for coming on and giving me some of your time. But yeah, I hope you guys all learned something about rodeo. I know I learned a lot from these girls sharing their stories and even about the animal abuse piece of this, which I think is huge, and some of the stereotypes behind rodeo. But thank you so much, and join us for another episode of Adventures with Heggie coming out on Friday.